Hi guys, and welcome to this video about how to annotate your texts, whether this be articles, surveys, interviews, any kind of source that you're going to include in your research project folio. So today we're going to cover whether your source or your text is useful, how to annotate, and I guess analysis is where you're going to push into those higher grades, which involves bias, reliability, validity, and credibility. All right, let's get started. So, seems really obvious, but the first thing you should look at when you look at a piece of text is it useful to your topic? Does the article or text assist you or help you in answering your research question? So some tools here. Is it useful for your purpose? So the overall purpose of your question, is it helping to answer it? Does it link to your overall focus or topic? Does it give you the information that you went out looking for? Is it easy to understand, or is it really confusing? Does it perhaps lead to other sources that are going to help answer your question? Does it provoke questions within your mind and get you really thinking about it? And really importantly, does it help you to develop your capability or capabilities? Now, annotating. This sounds really silly, but you actually really need to know how to annotate rather than just highlight or scribble some things in the margin. So annotating, I guess the definition is to add notes that give explanation or comment, but what's really going to push you into those higher grades is analysis. So the first thing you should do when you look at a text after assessing for usefulness is to scan for clues. Have a look at the title and the subheadings and the images. Do they give you clues about what the text might tell you, about maybe what kind of bias might be involved, or I guess what kind of take they have on that particular issue? You should also be looking at the author for clues. Alright, now questioning who, what, when, how, why, and where. So in terms of who, that's looking at your author and verifying the source. What, so what is the main issue, or what are some of the issues that your text raises? Or what are the main points, I guess? When was it written, or when did the study or the survey or interview, when did it take place? That will often play a really strong part in whether or not your text is relevant. How? I guess, how are they telling you the information? Are they only telling you one side? Is it maybe biased? Are they presenting an issue in a certain way? Why? So why might they be presenting that issue in that certain way? Does the author have a particular motive or anything to gain, anything to lose? And where was your text produced? If you have a really, I guess, locally specific question and you're sourcing data from the other side of the world, you really need to ask yourself if that's going to be relevant for your question. Okay, tracking refers to both within that single text that you're looking at and also other texts that you're looking at. So you should be keeping track of the themes that are coming out and the ideas, very similar things. What are you noticing is coming out of a lot of the things that you're looking at? And the overall tone of the text that you're reading. Is it a really positive tone? Is it negative? Is it perhaps a really environmentally friendly tone? Those kinds of things. So looking at similarities that are coming out. You should also be drawing connections between what you're looking at, and that's where you push into your B and A band, is that you're not just doing all this separate research. You're looking at a website and then writing it down, then closing your mind off and looking at another one. You need to be looking at everything kind of simultaneously in your brain and making connections between what you're reading. So if you're looking at one particular text, is it similar to what you've read or is it different? That will be something that you need to talk about if you notice one of those things. What do you still need to know after looking at your text? Do you have questions, or are you thinking about something, or has it maybe raised questions for you? And is there information that you need to verify? If they raise a point that you haven't heard before, maybe you need to go away and research that and try and verify, make sure that that is both reliable and valid. Okay, now how to annotate. Quite often we see students who hand up a folio and they've got it beautifully organized. They use titles, they've used very pretty highlighting, some colorful sticky notes, but they haven't actually met the performance standards. So it's really important that you don't just highlight everything and that you're annotating correctly. So in terms of highlighting, you should be highlighting only keywords, main ideas that are popping out, maybe some quotations that you think are really interesting. interesting information or statistics or facts that you might like to check later. Okay, by no means should you be highlighting massive chunks of your text, because it's not actually highlighting, then you're not looking at key things. Now you can annotate in or on post-it notes. That is really common. You can also scribble all over your text. You get no marks for how neat things are as long as we can follow what you're saying. You can do comment boxes. If you like doing things digitally, by all means on Word add comment boxes. You can also do separate journal entries. So after you look at either one text or a bunch of text, you might like to do a journal article about things that are appearing and things that we've talked about so far. Now, analysis. You really need to be analyzing your texts and your sources rather than just commenting on things that you're noticing. So this is where these terms come out, and there is another video called The Language of Research which explores these in more detail. So it'd be a good idea to go away and watch that one when you get a chance. So what we learned today is when looking at sources, you need to look at, okay, are they useful? Are they helpful? Are they relevant to my topic? You need to annotate them correctly, and by correctly, you need to be teasing out main ideas, making connections, tracking, looking for clues. And you also need to be analysing articles, which is what those terms at the bottom refer to. All right, if you don't have any questions, I will see you all in class. Good luck. Bye, guys.